What I'm about to share with you is a technique that will make any girl obsessed with you, even if she doesn't seem interested in you and even if she seems out of your league. It would be close to impossible to find a girl who wouldn't show interest in you when you do this. There's a thing called the subconscious mind that lives inside you. It controls everything about you, even if you don't know anything about it. One way this happens is when something becomes all we ever think about, this power becomes stronger the more we think about it. It adds things slowly and deliberately to your catalog of thoughts. And the more that you think about it, the more that you become attached to it. This is why consistently watching ads and getting bombarded with the same message can make you intensely attached to a company. And this is why some of the biggest companies in the world have started broadcasting ads more frequently, despite not trying to sell you anything at that time. They want to be in your subconscious when you're not thinking about anything else. And that's where psychological priming comes in. Once you've been exposed to something for a certain amount of time, it becomes familiar to you as your brain memorizes that memory. It's the exact reason why our brains are receptive to products we're constantly shown ads for, without us even realizing it. And companies know it's only a matter of time before you decide to buy their products, whether when you're scrolling on your newsfeed or standing in a store looking for something to buy. So women in love will always think about the person they are in love with, and you should use this to your advantage. One way to make her obsessed is to make sure she is constantly thinking about you. This is done by doing things like always being available for her, keeping a constant text conversation with her, and making sure she knows where you are at all times. But that's not the only way. In fact, one way is far better than all the others, and that's repeatedly exposing yourself to someone you like, because the more they're exposed to something familiar, the more they'll get used to it and feel comfortable with it. This technique is called exposure therapy. Now, our subconscious minds are powerful but work in a different way to our logical minds. The subconscious mind works by repeating things the more somebody is exposed to them. Social media algorithms rely on it to increase engagement, and it's the same with people. The more they see or hear something, the more they're likely to grow to like it as time goes on. One way to make sure she's thinking about you is to run into her at school. For example, you just saw her walking down the hall, but it would be better if you said or did something that keeps it in her mind when you leave so that she realizes she's thinking about you. You could say hey to her to see if she responds, and then maybe follow it up with something like, "You remind me of a girl I read in a novel," or some other vague compliment. Now, the key is to give her an indirect compliment. If you say something like, "Hey, you look good today," she'll likely say thanks, but that's it. She'll forget about what you said immediately, especially if she's used to receiving a ton of compliments. But if you say something mysterious, it'll leave her wondering or guessing what you really meant. It's up to you to come up with a vague compliment because each scenario will be different and unique. But doing this to a girl that you are trying to have an effect on will always be thinking of you and will not be able to escape the thoughts of what they feel is a strange event. Now, due to the power of the subliminal effect, you could end up liking someone you hated before. The craziest part about this is that since all of this occurs below our awareness, we don't even know why we all of a sudden start liking them. For example, say a girl who isn't attracted to you is standing in front of you, and all of a sudden, her brain starts to like you. She isn't able to distinguish what's happening as it's happening below the level of her awareness. The only thing that comes up after a subliminal effect is that you will be in her head. If you guys have ever seen how David Blaine does magic tricks on the streets where he completely blows your mind, such as making what a person wrote on a card appear on a passing car or producing coins out of an empty cup, if you've watched his videos, it makes more sense when people are astounded by the magic trick that they witness. They'll think back to certain moments while they replay the trick over and over in their heads long after David Blaine walked away. Now, I'm not saying you need to go out and start pulling magic tricks on girls, but one way to make someone obsessed with you is by finding a way to occupy their thoughts. The more a woman thinks about you, the more likely she is to think that her thoughts of you are the result of liking you, rather than because you simply occupy her thoughts with mysterious words and actions. And with that, we've come to the end of today's video. If you did learn something, give it a thumbs up and press the bell icon to never miss out on future uploads. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Till then, peace out and have a great day.